The capital of Mississippi is coping with a water crisis.
This morning, people in Jackson, Mississippi are being told to expect little or no water.
The developing and dire situation in Mississippi.
Nearly 24 hours, the state says it's handed out more than 500 pallets of water.
Jackson, Mississippi, the largest city in the state, water service is still not totally reliable.
Mississippi's largest city is beginning its fourth week without safe drinking water coming out of faucets.
Most Americans, when they turn on the tap, they don't have to worry about water. However, more than 30 million Americans live in areas with water safety violations. In the Navajo Nation, 300,000 people unknowingly use water tainted by nearby uranium mining. And as Kentucky still has remnants of toxic sludge from 2 decades ago, and Texas faces the same issue with over 134,000 people living without public water systems, water treatment facilities, or both, with the vast majority of them living in colonias. This far-reaching issue spanning across all 50 states has culminated in the current water crisis, which many residents in Jackson, Mississippi now face.
Access to water is supposed to be guaranteed by the EPA, the Safe Drinking Water Act, and the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, which is meant to deliver more than $50 billion to the EPA for drinking water access. However, over 60 million Americans are exposed to unsafe drinking water coming straight from the tap.
In August of 2022, 180,000 Jackson residents went a month without safe drinking water. However, Jackson's water problems go back years, with boil advisories becoming the norm.
They know about the numerous equipment failures that we have. This is a set of accumulated problems based on deferred maintenance that has not taken place over decades.
In 2020, Mississippi's capital failed the EPA inspection, which found that drinking water had the potential to host harmful bacteria and parasites. And in November of 2021, a citywide water outage occurred, highlighting the more than 50 years of failures to properly maintain the city's water and sewage systems.
Almost 30% of the population in Jackson lives in poverty, and roughly 82% of the city is Black, with an average income of less than $25,000. On the other hand, the nearby city of Pearl has a 63% white population who earns on average $60,000. Unlike Jackson, located only 5 miles away, Pearl's residents do not lack access to portable water on a daily basis, even prior to the flooding. In fact, the town itself received an excellent water report as of 2022.
During our water crisis, Pearl received nothing. Like Pearl wasn't affected. Pearl didn't even know of it, and I think that's because it's a majority white town and it's a high-income area. Like they were considered the rich neighborhood. So how were we affected when they weren't?
The fact that 180,000 people in Jackson lack access to portable water at the same time that the residents of Pearl received an outstanding water report emphasizes the systematic inequality that Jackson residents face due to their socioeconomic status.
But how did this even happen?
With flooding throughout the South over the last few weeks during the summer, and one of the incidents led acutely to the flooding of the main water system.
In mid to late August of 2022, heavy rains led to flooding along the Pearl River watershed. Although the river was predicted to overflow, it crested below the major flood stage of 36 feet at 35.37 feet. Even though this prevented the large-scale evacuations and extensive damages that were expected, the flooding damaged one of the water treatment plants, leading to the inability to produce sufficient water pressure at the O.B. Curtis treatment plant.
Been severe disinvestment, which caused the infrastructure to fail. And I think it's very indicative of like what we see happen in other areas. There's, especially in communities of color, lack of investment in terms of infrastructure to ensure that there is access to clean and affordable water.
This, combined with the malfunctions of pumps at the J.H. Fowell treatment plant, led to the water crisis that residents in Jackson are now experiencing.
In 2021, President Biden passed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act.
This long overdue legislation delivers comprehensive investment in our roads and bridges, ports and waterways, clean water systems, broadband networks, electrical grids, and airports.
Some people believe that the federal government must be the solution to this crisis.
So this is really a situation where I think EPA and or someone should have exerted emergency powers
Others believe that the state is the answer.
Then it really is the responsibility of the state government to deal with these issues. And being proactive about these issues is truly the best way to do it. Unfortunately, most state governments don't respond ahead of time or think about any possible issues that could arise. And then when there is a crisis, there is no money for it, and they always go to the federal government.
Either way, people are trying to act as individuals in order to make life better.
And I do think grassroots organizations like ourselves can change this. If we all come together and make a big event, I think we can change this, which is in the making. I think we can change it.
We must take action and help solve this water disparity issue.